With Ruin only a day away, it seems like the perfect time to dive into what the community wants to see in the DLC, and what Steelball needs to do to avoid a repeat of Security Breach. And then a few days after Ruin's release, we can come back and see if we were correct. So let's get started. While I could talk about how bugs and glitches would make the community mad at Steelball, I think it would be more interesting to cover what we want to see in the story. After all, it's not these problems that will cause trouble for Ruin, it's these. Looking at the story we already have, I'm sure you would agree Security Breach was very inconclusive. The real ending was unclear if there even was one, and many characters felt incomplete. So how could Ruin fix this? The mystery that started everything in Security Breach, and pretty much this entire channel, is where Bonnie and Foxy are. Bonnie being the biggest mystery, with messages and locations about him. Everyone wants to know what happened to him, and with this character at the end of the trailer, even if it isn't Bonnie, I'm sure it will hold the answers due to the similarities. Burntrap, or whoever this is, was another underdeveloped character, being on screen a total of about a minute, and only acting as a background character to his own boss fight. Something I'm very sure of is that we'll see more of this character, and an explanation of his origin, to finally answer whether this is Afton, the Mimic, or something else. The Ruin DLC doesn't necessarily have to cover all of these details to be a good DLC though. It could only answer a few of them if it brings its own proper story. With this being a free DLC, we also can't expect anything insane, but I think simple answers like who Burntrap is and which ending really happened will definitely be answered by this release. What we can expect from Ruin, even if it has its own story, is some returning characters. For a start, you guys have been very interested in seeing more of Roxanne Wolf. With her development and pretty sad ending, it would be a shame for Ruin to leave her in that state, which is why I think Roxanne will help us, and we will get the chance to repair her and possibly Chica, which is all based on their eyes not glowing in the poster. Speaking of the Ruin poster, I think a very popular theory won't happen. A lot of people have wanted to see the return of Vanny, as she, like Burntrap, got very little screen time, but no villain appears in the poster, which I would guess means a new character will be a villain. Vanny may still make an appearance, but I don't think she will be the main antagonist. But in other areas of the community, the daycare attendant has been very popular as a side antagonist. As we know, he will be a mixture of Sun and Moon, half good and half bad, which was actually predicted a year ago on my first video about DLCs, which was kind of funny. So I think Ruin will definitely include the daycare attendant that sometimes helps you and sometimes hunts you. It'll make a really interesting character. And speaking of helping you, Glamrock Freddy's fate has been very unclear since Security Breach. He has only made one appearance since, and even then he was obscured. Lots of players want to see him return and help the player, as he was an awesome character to work with. But while I think he will return, I feel he won't be friendly. If you're interested in why, I cover him loads in these videos, but very briefly, he seems aggressive in the trailer, and with the focus of Ruin being on horror, removing the comfort character would be a natural first step. Horror being a focus of Ruin is already the result of a lot of community pressure to return to the FNAF 1 basics, which is why I think so many popular community ideas will come to Ruin. The main one being that it's actually scary, which was the biggest request aside from a complete game. We've seen from the environment in Ruin that there's much less lighting and much more sneaking aspects to the trailer, so we can see Steelball is already working on this. Another aspect that people wanted was scarier jump scares, because let's be real, in Security Breach, the sound of their footsteps was scarier than the jump scare. But we've only seen one jump scare so far in the trailer, so we're not quite sure how that's going. But I think the jump scares will be solid, seeing as they're the key part of the FNAF games. And then in an exact opposite, lots of players wanted to see the animatronics catch a break in the good ending. This would have Cassie going around repairing each animatronic, making up for Gregory and Burntrap's destruction in Security Breach. I think this could be really wholesome, but I don't think it will happen, or at least it will happen on a much smaller level, maybe with one or two animatronics being saved, but not all of them. That being said, if the main antagonist is defeated, it could result in a similar ending to FNAF 3, where the animatronics are freed. And without seeing what Ruin contains, those are what the community want to see. If you're interested, all of these theories are in more details in these videos. And subscribe to catch me possibly streaming Ruin tomorrow, which will be my first stream in about a year. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.